continue our look at the 1989 debuts here in the States with a purely Canadian-produced game show. And this one, unlike The Last Word and all the CanCon nonsense, which took about a good chunk of last month's video when we talked about The Last Word, is a purely Canadian-produced show. Done by former Barry Enright staffer Mark-Maxwell Smith, we have Outburst, the game show, also known as Talkabout.
Martians eat babies.
Three by my. See how they run. See how they run. They all run after the senator.
He's big. He's strong. He talks really wimpy.
I know. They're big. They're huge. They're humongous. You do this thing and dice. Chop them. The tomato happy.
I don't know what to be there.
Let's talk. Whether the subject is Darling Clementine, Sweet Sue, or Dear Hunter, it's something you'll hear about when we all play Talkabout. And here's the man who has everybody talking, Wayne Cox.
Welcome. Hi, Jim. Well, hello there. Oh, hello. I'm so glad you could join us today on Talkabout.
Talkabout debuted in 1988 on the CBC in Canada, but didn't cross the border until September 1989 in syndication to go along with Jackpot and The Last Word in most markets. Basing most of its gameplay on the party game Outburst. Two teams of two have a small amount of time to guess as many words as they can out of 10 in a given category. It's a simple premise, but there's one little thing about the show. And that thing is, well, this show is one cheap, well machine full of fun. I'm serious. Talkabout is fun, and it's one of the best game shows of the 80s. I'm not kidding. So, how is this little show one of the best? Well, it all starts with one of the better hosts of the 80s, Wayne Cox.
Here's the man who has everybody talking, Wayne Cox.
Hi, John. Hi, Rose. Hi there. Thank you, Dean Hill. Oh, boy. I hope you're ready for some fun. We certainly are. Here on Talkabout, we ask contestants to talk about people, places, and things, and the more they talk, the better their chances of winning.
Wayne Cox is a veteran in the TV industry, having done loads of things, including being a host and interviewer for the NHL, a morning show host, and more notably a weatherman for the CBC. For us game show fans, he did Second Honeymoon for CBN, aka the Family Channel, and Acting Crazy, a charades game show that lasted about a year. Talkabout was the best show out of the three that he did, and showed off how good of a host he was. Genuine, kind, and always there to console losers with a copy of the home game and all this applause. It's no wonder that he's looked back fondly in game show lore in the fans' eyes as one of the best Canadian game show hosts, well, right next to Al Dubois, Alex Trebek, and Pierre Lalonde. And to be frank, I have never seen any of his other shows. I haven't seen Second Honeymoon, and I haven't seen Acting Crazy, mainly because I honestly never thought about picking episodes up or watching them on YouTube. But with how good Wayne's hosting is, I'm probably, after this video, going to go watch some Second Honeymoon and Acting Crazy if I can find them. So now we get to the gameplay, and it's beautiful. Just beautiful. The gameplay is really similar to Outburst, but played with the traditional game show twists. The first team of two goes to the side and puts on the headphones, while the other team picks from one or two topics and talks about them for 20 seconds each. The goal of the team is to try to say all 10 words that the writers think people would use to describe said topic. Each word said is worth a point to the pot, and that word is removed from the list of words of the other team. We'll see if the team fails to get all 10 words. After both teams have a chance to list off words, the other team has to guess the subject from the remaining words left on the board. If they do guess the subject correctly, then they get the points. If not, then the team that talked gets to keep them. And one little thing that needs to be mentioned, if a team reveals all 10 clue words, then they get 10 points and a $500 cash bonus because of how hard it is to pull off. Teams go back and forth until one team scores 15 points. Then that team's declared the winner, receives $100, and plays the bonus game. It's a really simple and easy to follow format, and I dig it a lot. You can't help but get suckered into playing along at home and trying to guess the other clue words that are left up when the first person talking doesn't do that well. What I also like is the variety of subject that the show offers. One round could be about George Washington, while the next round could be on strawberries, and the next one could be about night court. This game just had everything going for it. Also noteworthy was the big bonus, where if a team can win 5 games in a row, wins a big prize package, usually around $5,000 in worth. And the bonus game is a neat twist on the front game and is played in 2 halves. The first half has both teammates picking a prize they want to go for, a topic, and who will talk first in the first half of the game. After all that is decided, the first person to talk will have 20 seconds to talk about the subject. For each clue word revealed, they earn $100 and 1 second of time that their partner will have in order to guess one of the remaining clue words. After that, they have a choice. Take the money or go double or nothing with the time built up and their partner trying to guess one word out of what's left. If successful, they double the money and win the prize. If they fail, then they leave the bonus game with nothing. The front game bonus makes it over here as well, but this time, if the first person gets all 10 clue words, they win the prize and $2,000 in cash. And it's quite interesting to talk about that too, because it rarely happened. I think it only happened about twice. I always like it when the bonus game is similar but harder than the main game, and this is no exception. It's got all the right notes, and you always seem to root for the contestant to win the cash and the prize that they try to give away. Honestly, the only knock that I have against this game is that it's kind of cheap. But since it's a Canadian show, and since they never really had that big of a budget for any of their shows, it's kind of expected, especially shows before 1990. And that's Talkabout. Great show, great host, great format, and I wish it lasted longer than it did. While the show was great, it really wasn't a hit with viewers in both the US and Canada, as the landscape of TV was changing towards talk shows that are more combative and played towards the lowest common denominators, such as the Sally Jesse Raphaels and the Donahues of the world. Thus, Talkabout wasn't meant for the prime syndication market. It would be dropped by most markets in March of 1990, whereas the rest of the markets would air the first batch of episodes that were only shown in Canada during the 88-89 season. Seriously, go look up Talkabout on YouTube. You won't be disappointed one bit. And that's it for this edition of the Games of 90. Next time we are going to talk about... Do I want to do Scrabble or do I want to do Funhouse? I think I'm going to do Funhouse. And I have to let everybody know this will be a special two-part video. The first part will be talking about the second syndication season and also College Madhouse, whereas the second part, which will be done in August, will be talking about Fox Funhouse and how that was a gigantic disappointment over the previous shows. Until next time, bye-bye!